I had an interview today, and my interview was with a digital marketing company. Um, I've been doing this apprenticeship thing since about June of last year. My first apprenticeship did not last very long. Unfortunately, the company that I was placed with did not necessarily have the funds to maintain paying me. So we did part ways. I've been waiting to find a new employer, and I think, hopefully, prayerfully, that we have finally aligned. I took time out of being an employee to start my own business, which I've done, and it's growing, and now I'm able to go back with a renewed perspective into the workforce, but this time going back into a career that I feel like I can really find myself in and that I can enjoy, and it also gives me a healthy work-life balance, because I never want to work somewhere and just feel like that's all that I do. So I met with this really great company. It's actually a small company. It's only of 4 people. If I am hired, and hopefully I am, I will be member number 5, and I'll be the intern, I'll be the intern. They do have a pretty set in stone intern to hire program, but it aligns with the fact that I am also in an apprenticeship, which, if you don't know what an apprenticeship is, it is a learn while you earn type of program. And at the end of this, I will be able to not only obtain my certification in digital marketing, but I'll also be able to obtain credits towards my degree. Now, I have an associate's degree, but I'm 12 credits shy. I know, 12 credits. 12 credits shy of my bachelor's degree in business administration. I get to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You're going to learn, and in my case, I've had many years of experience in this particular field, from physical marketing to digital marketing, just because that's the type of work that I did. That's what I was doing. And, every time that I went to do an interview, it was just piece by piece, build your portfolio. There's no shortcut to it. You're going to build your portfolio. You're going to work with companies. How do you get and if you all want to know more about this, I will definitely tell you, but it's been a journey, because I never even thought of doing an apprenticeship until I just happened to see this particular school come up. And yeah, like, I had worked with a lot of clubs and lounges and salons and restaurants. And sometimes it was unpaid work. It was just out of pure curiosity that I wanted to do these things. And then the more that I did it, the more tasks that I took on, and it allowed me to go ahead and build out my portfolio. Then I started to get paid gigs doing design work for people. And then, of course, doing illustrations, doing book covers. And that's how I found myself in the digital marketing realm. Like, I am a visual artist, but I'm also a business. I'm in business. So business, creativity, digital marketing. That's how we got there. But this company I met with was just an amazing company. It's in a great area. There were a lot of Black-owned restaurants, or I think I went to a Black-owned juice bar. It's called BK Juices. And it was actually funny. I went there with my friend who does financing for other small businesses. And it was really cool because he went in there, so he kind of was canvassing the area, and he was saying that there was a grant that they're currently accepting applications for. And that particular juice bar said, oh, well, we got that last year, which was for infrastructure. So they were able to build out some things within their establishment, which is really cool. So, I hope I'm not rambling too much, but my update is that, yes, I went on a job interview so that I can continue my apprenticeship program. Like I said, I started it last year. Unfortunately, things did not work out with that employer. I did continue into the program to do some of the projects, but if you don't know, an apprenticeship does not work without having a hiring employee, because basically the county pays for the education portion. So this is free. This is free game in case you all are looking and you want to know what an apprenticeship is. Like, it's normally funded by the state or the county, and then the employer pays you. Now, they're probably not going to pay you like market rate, so work that out how it works for you if you want to do something like this. But yeah, so that is my update, and stay tuned for whatever else I decide to put in this video. See you all soon. Bye. Hey guys, hopping in really quickly to give you all another update to my day. Right now, I am just doing some refresher for my life insurance exam. I don't know if I have said that on this channel. I doubt it at this point. But I used to work in the life insurance field, and financial literacy has always been something that has been really important to me. I said back in 2014, I worked at a pension fund organization, and then maybe like right after the pandemic, I worked in a life insurance call center. And I'm really happy that I took those positions because even before I worked at the pension fund, just coming out of high school, financial literacy was always really important. Like I said, I went to school to study business, I majored in accounting. Clearly there's a theme here. I was like, how can I safeguard myself like financially? How can I equip myself and prepare myself to have the best opportunity to win and to be successful and to, I don't know, you just hear about the horror stories. They don't teach you credit. They don't teach you accounting. They don't teach you how to balance your books in school. If it's not something that you hear a lot about in your household, then you just won't know until you know. Like you're going to hit rock bottom and then have to go figure it out. So I was just naturally always inquisitive about this. Another motivation for me doing the life insurance exam is I said this many, many years ago that I wanted to study to become a life insurance agent, mainly so that I could tell other people, specifically hairstylists, because I was fortunate enough to work at a pension fund, to work at a life insurance company, fortunate enough to go to college, to study business, to minor in accounting, that I didn't just come out of high school and go into the hair salon. And there's not a lot of teaching about your finances and what to do as a hairstylist. Like, we don't use Excel spreadsheets or any type of CRM system. There are a lot of gaps from stylist to business owner. They don't teach that. Now, I mean, they may teach that at other schools, but I got my license in high school and we did not learn that. And from the other hairstylists that I have talked to over the years, they did not learn that either. So I wanted to get my life insurance license basically to take that knowledge back to other hairstylists, because sometimes it's easier for you to hear and get understanding from your peer. But when I was working in the life insurance field, was a lot of older people calling in and saying, hey, I need to cancel my life insurance policy because I can't afford it. Or maybe they need to go into a home or assisted living facility and they need some type of government assistance. The government or the state or the county, honestly, I can't remember at this point, but they do require for them to basically turn over their assets. Like they have to be destitute in order to receive that additional funding. And I always felt like that was really sucky and really unfortunate that the family is losing this amount of money just so that they can have someone to take care of their family in the present day, when the whole purpose of taking out that life insurance policy was so that they could safeguard themselves for the future, maybe leave some money to their family to cover debts and expenses and things of that nature in the future. And I feel like a lot of agents fail to educate the insured, or the owner of these policies on how to utilize the product. So I just saw a lot of gaps, and this is me doing my part to hopefully educate people in the future about what life insurance is, how you can use it for yourself in the present day, how you can, heck, I know a lot of people that get life insurance policies, take out loans, and they're able to put their kids through college. And still keep the policy going, pay it back. So there are a lot of uses for life insurance, more than just paying for a funeral, although we all do pass at some point, unless the Lord comes back and we're still alive. But yeah, so anyways, stay tuned to see if I pass this exam. This is my second time attempting to take this test. I was 5 points shy of passing. Luckily for me, this test gives you a weighted score so you can see where you are on the test. as far as like what answers you got incorrect or what areas you need to study more. So right now I'm kind of spot studying in the areas that I didn't do so great in. And yeah, my exam is scheduled for 9:30 p.m. tonight. So let me get back to studying. Talk to you later. Okay, yeah. So I passed. I passed my life insurance exam. I don't know if I definitely have shown y'all this room. So if you ever take your life insurance exam and you decide that you are going to take it as a proctored exam, they got a couple of very, very, very annoying rules. The exam has to be taken pretty much in an open space. They don't want you to have any pictures, no letters, nothing that basically is going to give away, I don't know, I guess like cheating. They're going to like ask you to show them the surface of your table, show them the four walls, the four corners of your walls. They're going to ask you to show the floor. They want to see underneath your desk, under your chair, behind your chair. And I've tried to do this at home, but of course, most people have a lot of stuff in their house. And I'm going to say the first time that I took this exam, it took me at least 3 hours just to get past the whole room inspection, desk inspection, computer systems test inspection. And, yeah, it was just a whole lot of stuff going on. And of course, like if you're studying for an exam, you want to study up until it's time for you to take the exam. So having it be delayed like that definitely is just a little bit of a drag. And it does kind of make you forget what you learned. And I don't know if it's just me, but whenever I take tests, I get really, really cold. So this time I got smart. I got on my hoodie for my art company, which is, does it say it? It says Nala Rose Gal. And then it also says Kind Queen Art down here. I don't believe I've ever told you all the backstory behind that company, and maybe I will at some point, but it is where you can buy my artwork, Nala Rose Gal. It's not TBC Paint Studio, the paint party company, but more of the upscale art. So instead of doing the test in my house, and just to avoid that whole kerfluffle, I decided to come to the salon. This, of course, is the photo room. We have some photos on the wall, which are covered up right now because, once again, you can't have pictures. And yeah, I'm happy to say that I am closing yet another chapter of a goal that I have set, that I have worked for. And, next step is to actually apply to get my license. And then, I know I'm going to start with my family first to make sure that, they say like generational wealth is just something you do, and it's one step at a time. It's not something that happens overnight, but it does start with safeguarding yourself. So if you do not have life insurance, definitely get life insurance. And who knows, maybe by the time that this video goes up, I will have applied for my license. It will have come back, and then you can talk to me directly about getting a life insurance policy. And yeah, I'm really excited. Like, just the whole test, I took it and I was just praying. I was like, dear God, please let me pass this test. Please let me pass this test. Because sometimes in life we feel like we want to do a lot of things and we get sidetracked. We don't finish those things. So in this season, I'm all about completing cycles. Completing the correct cycles. I don't want to complete bad cycles or bad habits. So financial literacy, like I said earlier, is extremely important to me. It's important even as a single female that I have money in the bank, that I am able to support myself financially, and that I'm able to plan for my future. So financial planning and strategizing, because nothing happens just by osmosis. Things happen by doing, planning, strategizing. Where do you want to be? How do you want to be? Setting smart goals. And that is what I'm doing in the season of life. Like I said, this is Life Talk with Lady T. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about life. Like, don't leave your future up to chance. Like, if you set a goal, complete the goal and move forward. Alrighty, signing off for tonight. Bye. Alrighty, guys, I have some really, really good news, more good news this week. I want to hop on here quickly and give you all an update. So, I had my digital marketing apprenticeship interview on Tuesday, and today is Thursday. So today is Thursday. 2 days later, I just got off the phone with the company that I interviewed with, and she told me that I got the job, and I'm so excited. This is really exciting news for me because, like I said, I started the apprenticeship last year. I worked with a company. The reality was that company was just a little bit under. They weren't prepared to take on an apprenticeship and all of the responsibilities that came along with that. So no hard feelings there, but it did put a monkey wrench in the progression of me doing this apprenticeship program for digital marketing. But I'm really excited. I'm sorry, I'm touching my hair. I'm really excited because once again, I feel like I am in the closing cycles era. Like if I started something, but let's say this, as creative, sometimes people look at us like we're foo-foo, like we're always starting stuff and we're never finishing it. And I mean, sometimes that may come with the territory. Like as an artist, I never feel like a painting is complete. It's just acceptable in that moment. Or maybe I've conveyed the message that I'm trying to convey, but there's always some more that you can do to it. And I feel like it's interesting to try to balance being a creative and being a creative professional, where there are timelines and deadlines that you have to stick to or stay on track with. So I'm excited to say that now I will be becoming an associate, well, technically intern, but it's associate account manager for a digital marketing company. And I'm excited to see what this next chapter holds, what I'm going to learn over the next year with this company. So yeah, some people never do anything in life because they don't apply themselves. Not because they're not good at it, not because they don't have the skills, not because they're not talented. I love these lights, these motion censored lights, but because they just don't think to apply themselves to the things that they want to do. You know, they let people get inside their head who are always kind of being a naysayer or always just being doubtful of their capabilities to do something. And to that, we say, shut it. Because it really is just about believing in yourself, focusing on yourself, and really knowing your why, your vision, your dream, your purpose for why you're deciding to do something. And it may look crazy to somebody. Some people, pursue entrepreneurship and it's like, I'm never going to go and work for somebody else. But if it makes sense to you for how it makes sense to you, then it makes sense to you. Like for me, I couldn't see myself going to work in a 9-to-5 and then not having anything to do with the creative field. So digital marketing is so vast. It's blog writing, it's content creation, it's learning a skill. And I think anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur needs to know how to market themselves digitally. Yes, you can always hire a company to do it for you, but if you're just starting out, then it helps to be able to know how to do it firsthand for yourself. So for, like I was saying previously, apprenticeships are for, it's typically a earn while you learn type thing. An internship is typically unpaid. An apprenticeship, you get paid. You're probably just going to get paid under market value for that position. But it gives you an inside eye into the field that you're trying to get into. So typically, like for me with my apprenticeship, I have a mentor that I meet with weekly. We go over basically the projects and stuff that I have to do because there is a school component. So it's a working component, school component. We go over all the projects that I have to do, and then she'll review it. And then I typically have to present my projects to someone else, like a higher up. Because, of course, she's biased. She's my mentor. So, of course, she wants me to pass. So, she's going to be like, you're amazing. You're great. A+, A+, A+. So, you have to have your projects reviewed by a third-party manager. This can be anything from putting together a portfolio. This can be you setting up a Google ad. This can be you doing a blog. This can be you creating surveys. So, it's all the components of digital marketing, lead generation. Yeah, and then there's working on site. So you'll be working on site with a company or someone in the field. And I've went on countless interviews before getting this position. And what I learned is a lot of people did not understand what digital marketing was. They knew that they needed it, but some people will hire digital marketing person and say, hey, answer phones. Like, they want you to do administrative tasks. And yes, administrative tasks comes with it, but that's not the the bolts and nuts and all the other things of what digital marketing is. It just doesn't. That's not really what it is. Some people want you to do graphic design and illustrations for them, and that's great as well. But I guess I would not want to work at a company where that's primarily what they wanted me to do as a artist, because I feel like I would make a lot more money doing that as a freelance, and that's not something I really need to learn more about and say, get paid a way lesser amount, because those things do take time. But where it's really a learning component, I feel like apprenticeships are one of the better ways to go ahead and get your education, get your feet wet in what you are doing. And yeah, so I just want to hop on here quickly. I'm going to mesh all of these videos together and give you the update that I guess you're getting like a week in the life of a creative professional. And you never know what you're going to do. Like, just this morning, I was standing behind the chair. I was with my client doing their hair. And it happened to be a client that said that he got his start and he went to school to study broadcasting, and then he got on YouTube and he would go around to like the media circuits, and then he decided that it wasn't for them and he decided to go into accounting. And that's the type of clients, like I said, I get to meet every day and hear these interesting stories. And I was showing him the space, the podcasting studio, and he was like, you just never know what's out there unless you know. And so it was interesting to meet him, and I inquired about whether or not he would be willing to come onto the podcast Artful Convos, because I love for people to hear stories about people who are in the creative space, whether you decide that it's somewhere that you could find sustainability, or whether or not you would go somewhere else, like you felt like it just didn't give you enough of what you need. And sometimes the area that you're in makes a whole lot of a difference. DC, Maryland, with the DC, Maryland area, because I don't spend too much time in Virginia, is just very interesting because there are a lot of avenues and opportunities here. You just have to know the right people. Whereas like Atlanta, Cali, those are probably more like art-centric, entrepreneur-centric areas where people are just a little bit more friendly, open, and willing to share than some other places that you may go to. So yeah, I think we will be seeing him on one of the podcast episodes. So once again, ARTFULLCONVOS, Artful Convos. If you do not follow Artful Convos by now, you should. You should follow it on YouTube. You should find us on all platforms that podcasts are. You should also follow us on Instagram if you want to see those wonderful interviews. And once again, thank you for watching. Bye. Alrighty, so just stopping in once again. I just left from getting my nails done because I've been walking around with one full hand of nails and one hand that was not done. Actually, I did my interview with 3 nails missing. So that tells you it's not always about, like, people put extra emphasis on appearance, and I wish I would have gotten my outfit for my interview. It was super cute. But appearance is not everything. It's really about what's on that paper, how you show up persona-wise, and then what your skill level is that got me that interview. But once again, I think that this whole video is probably going to be titled like a week in the life of a creative professional, since a lot of people don't know what that is. But after this, with this same outfit on, because it's really cute, you'll see it later, I'm going to be going to a creative happy hour / networking event in DC. Today we are going to be promoting TBC Content Studio, the podcast studio. There are some of the pictures of what the studio looks like, some of the setups that people can pick from. On the back, it says level up, and this is probably backwards. It says level up your brand, and then it's got our Instagram name on it. On the front is a QR code where people can directly go to the Peerspace link and to go ahead and book their studio. So networking events are very important because you never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to run into. I might run into some people who are interested in renting the podcast studio. I may run into some people who are interested in being on my podcast. Or you can run into people who are like, okay, well, wait, you do paint parties, and I don't think I have any of those flyers in here. Do I? No, those are more of these flyers. Always keep some type of flyer or marketing material on. You also have the dot wristband, but I couldn't tell you where it has gotten to. But yeah, this is going to be my primary focus. I'll probably talk up in conversation that I have a paint party company and that I come out and I'll do corporate paint party events. I'll do social events at lounges, at nightclubs, non-profit events, churches, a lot of that stuff. So stay tuned so you can see clips from the event. And I may just put like small clips, and I'll probably do an in-depth video of what the event was about and what it was like later on. But this is one of those a week in the life of a creative professional clips. And I'll probably put in some clips of me actually being a hairstylist. I always find it really funny because people are always like, well, like I'm always posting. So when I post on Facebook or I post on Instagram, typically on my personal page, I feel like people see it and they're like, oh, that person has a lot of jobs. And it always looks crazy to them. And I don't know why, because they always tell you to have multiple streams of income. Now, it's great if some of those streams are streams that don't require you to physically do anything, but sometimes it's going to require you to do stuff until it doesn't. So you start a business, and then you're able to bring people on. It's overnight. Like I said earlier, everything is just, it's a work in progress, and it's a beautiful work in progress. And the reward pays off. Like, it feels great to sometimes be, oh, I was at my house, but money was made. And to be like, okay, I go in and I just set up for a podcast, and then I'm able to step away and let them utilize the space, and then go back maybe an hour before they finish up and, you know, greet them, make sure all the equipment and stuff is intact, and go from there. Like, I feel immensely blessed to say that I've created spaces for other people to be able to be creative in. Like, sometimes you just want to be, the vessel. Like, it doesn't need to be my thing. I've never been a person that's like, I'm too big of a personality, so I can't go in and help somebody else to achieve their dream. And I really feel like that's kind of the issue with people, why they don't make as big as strides as they want to make. I love my nails. I love yellow. Yellow is my color. See, I got yellow on purpose to match my brand, which is yellow. But yeah, that was a little sidebar. I'm not going to go off on too much of a rant, but I'm excited. So, stay tuned. Okay, let me get it from the stairs. Go up there. Go up there.
Yeah, no, I believe that shit, man. Nah, for real. Cause that shit all
All right, guys. So we are getting back to another day in the life of a creative entrepreneur. This is the downstairs location to the salon. There's me. Hi. Salon that I work at. Ooh, my cape is on backwards. But this is the downstairs location. I actually do not work down here, but I did take part in helping to decorate down here. I work upstairs. That's where I sublease the upstairs unit. But the washer and dryer is down here. So that's why I'm down here. And of course, my old coworkers are down here. So I do come down here to bug them from time to time. Yeah. So maybe we'll get some footage of me doing my client's hair. This is my lock extension client. She got lock extensions maybe about a month, 2 months ago. And this is her first retwist with me. So we're going to be washing her hair. Some of the locks did come out, so we're going to be replacing those. And I really got to stop messing with my hair on camera, but I'm a girl. That's what we do. Yeah. So that's what we'll be doing right now. And then after that, I have another lock client, and I forget what my other client is getting done. But this is a pretty light day. Some of the services are just pretty lengthy, by way of how many locks they have, how long it's been since they've been back to me. And then, yeah, I'll be back here on Saturday because today is Friday. So it's the day after my good news that I got the digital marketing position, and I'll be working that into my schedule. And then Sunday, we'll have some interesting clips because I'll actually be going out of town. I'll be going to Philadelphia. I'll be going to a hair show with some of the other hairstylists in the area. And yeah, I've only been to maybe like 2 or 3 hair shows since I've been a stylist. So this is the 4th one, and I've never been to a hair show in Philly. So I'm excited to see what that's going to bring. And then I think we're going to go out to brunch. Maybe, hopefully, at least we're going to have to go out to get some food because the show starts at 10. We'll be leaving at like 8 or 9 to get to Philly. It's about 2 hours away from me. And yeah, I didn't have too much to say today, but yeah, that's what we are doing.